You guys hear me good?
What's up, everybody? We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, of course, as always, joined by my co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, how you doing?
Good. It's Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a good day. We are joined with a guest today. We have Pedro the Prodigy Trujillo, who's going to be competing on June 25th in Farmersville for MMA Fight Pass presents Cage Fighting Volume 4. So, what's up, man? How's it going?
Doing fine, man. Just working hard. We're getting ready for this fight.
So, from what I was told, you're 2-0, and from what I've heard, it's been a hell of a time looking for an opponent for you. Is that true?
Yeah, we're just having a hard time right now. Didn't expect for it to be this soon, but it happened.
Now, what have you done to prepare for this fight? Like, I mean, you go through it all, but is there anything you focused on more so than anything else?
Right now, just putting myself in the worst positions. Like, say if I get taken down, just working on getting up real good, and everything else just perfecting it.
Gotcha. Now, what weight are you competing at?
Right, this fight is gonna be 195s.
All right.
Have you always fought at that weight, or is this something new?
I mean, yeah, I've competed at 180 at the 184s. I tried 195s before, but it was in wrestling in high school. I was too small back then. And now I feel good for it.
Now, tell us a little bit. I was just going to ask about. So you talked about wrestling. Is that how you got into MMA? Was through wrestling?
I'm sorry.
Did you get into MMA through wrestling since you started off with that, or did you start off doing grappling or say kickboxing? How did you get into MMA?
Nah, I got through. Yeah, I could say I got through to MMA from my wrestling. It was like the competitiveness after like high school. I was a football player, but I had to find something I love, and I found MMA because there's no school.
When did you decide to get into fighting, and then when did you decide to compete?
I decided to get in fight my senior year, which was 2 years ago, and I don't know. I just grew to love it. I used to always get my butt whooped. I wasn't really good at this. It was just something to do, and I started getting better and better, and it was a bucket list to get in a fight, and I enjoyed it. I loved every second of it.
And when was your first fight? How long ago?
First fight was about last year on December.
Oh.
Yeah. But my recent one was in February. So trying to rack up as much fights as I can.
What's your training schedule like?
Right now, I work 3 days out of the week. The rest, I come in at 9, and then I come back at 4, all the way up to 6:30. So, yeah, determined.
And then your weight cuts, is that a hard thing for you to do, or is this just kind of like a normal weight that you already are? You don't really have to worry about it too much.
Right now, I'm just 95s. I'm just coasting right now. I don't know how to cut no weight. I feel good. I feel healthy, strong, fast. Can't complain.
What is your what do you think is your best attribute for MMA? What you better striking, wrestling. What do you feel more comfortable at?
I'm comfortable on the ground, and that's what I will always go to. So, but if I can't and I'm unsuccessful, striking. I love my striking. I love my hands, my kicks, powerful. I'm all around.
And what gym are you fighting out of?
Out of One Nation MMA.
Have you been there the whole time?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
And you have a good amount of training partners there?
Yeah, we got some killers. We got Junior, which is 3-0. 3 knockouts. He's gonna be rising as well. We got some other Cody. He just came off of a win, first round knockout, and so we got some pretty good guys and preparing me for this fight.
That's good. Do you do any heavy sparring at all, or what's your sparring like? I know some people go really hard all the time. Some people don't go hard at all, kind of mix it up. What's your training like?
Actually, we got some a pro boxer, which was a #1 amateur MMA in California. Right now, he's my sparring partner. That's just loving each other and whooping each other in the ring, getting each other better to get to the next stage. So, yeah, we don't take it easy in here. We're trying to make it. We got a purpose.
Now, what are some of your goals in MMA? I mean, you're starting to compete pretty consistently. What would you eventually like to do?
So right now, well, the main goal is to get to the UFC, but along the way, I'm trying to, as an amateur right now, try to collect as much belts as I can from every promotions and be known, and just trying to get my name out there. So when I hit to the pro, tickets are already selling. And, just trying to have a good name for myself.
Now, competing this is going to be in Farmersville, and I don't know if you know anything about Farmersville, but Farmersville is not a big town yet. I'm really excited about it because I want to see how this venue is going to look. Because I know what the venue in Bakersfield has looked like for MMA Fight Pass previously. Do you have any jitters going into fights, or are you on it?
Well, yeah, everyone always has that feeling in their stomach when they're entering the cage, or expecting a punch to our face. But once I'm in there, I'm locked in. I'm telling myself I'm the best. I train. No one's trained hard enough. And I just, motivate myself and be my own motivation towards this fight.
Now, all right. You train at One Nation. You train with a bunch of killers. Is there anybody, because One Nation's in Bakersfield, is there anybody in Bakersfield that you've seen that you would like to take on?
In Bakersfield? Nah, I don't look towards another one. I try to focus on more guys like experience over here. As I can say myself, I'm the best in Bakersfield. So, I'm on another level too. I'm on another level. I want to fight the best of the best.
All right. Now, would you go? Since you're still young and this is going to be your third fight, would you compete up north or even down south in LA if given the opportunity?
Would I compete?
Would you branch out to compete? Like, would you go up north or down south? Because I've even heard of some guys going to different states to compete. Would you do that?
Yeah, actually, we're trying to get a couple fights out there. Also, get our gym and name out there. We also like going to different states as well, like for Muay Thai and like Texas, and we travel some distance.
Have you competed in any other combat sport, like just Muay Thai or jiu-jitsu, wrestling, any other kind of matches that you've ever had?
Combat sports, yeah. I started sports when I was 4 years old. I did wrestling, continued all the way up to my sophomore year, but I had an injury on my knee, and but I came back my junior year. No, wait, I came back my senior year, and I did some stuff. I won a league at BHS. I also did football, but that ended because of the COVID. And I don't compete in jiu-jitsu, but I got crazy partners over here. So if I do compete, I'm confident in my game.
Now, so because of COVID, you stopped playing football. Is that how you ended up shifting to MMA?
Yeah, actually, that was the first route, but I didn't have enough time to get my film together. There's like only 2 games because COVID protocols canceled everything. So I was working, I was making money, but I felt like I needed the competitiveness, and I tried out Muay Thai, and I loved it, and I always wanted to do boxing, so I tried boxing, and I loved it, and I did jiu-jitsu, got my butt beat, so I was determined to get better, and everything fell together for MMA, and fell in love ever since.
Now you're Go ahead, Kaelyn.
No, you go. Keep going.
You're 2-0. Tell us a little bit about your previous fights and how you got those wins.
So my first fight, some guy out of Hollywood. It was a first round submission, rear naked choke. My second fight, it was a decent guy. He made it to the Olympic trials, but I was still confident in my ground game. Took him down. I think I averaged about like 90% of the fight on the ground, or just on top mount, just hammer fisting, and I won ground and pound on the third round. And right now, hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. I'm not sure. Can call nothing.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any fighters that you kind of give you inspiration, or who you look up to? I know you said your end goal is UFC. Is there anybody there that you that actually pulled you in a little bit more, like made you more interested in it by watching them?
Oh yeah, there's some Israel Adesanya. He was always skinny, tall, but he's a hell of a champion, and he's going on the streak right now. And I'm like, I don't think I'm built for this weight class. Like 185s, I always see him like so big, and then I started watching him. He just has heart, and he has just this beautiful technique, and I just master everything that I possibly can, and it turns out it works, and it just gave me confidence to be the best me I could be.
Now, as it comes to the fight game, like you talk about wanting to make it to the UFC, but are you willing? Do you want to just go straight to the UFC, like do the Dana White's Contenders, or are you willing to work in these smaller companies in order to reach your bigger goal?
Oh yeah, no, I'm still young. I'm in no rush, but that's just the main goal along the way. Like going pro, yeah, those are definitely gonna be just things I have to do to be able to be in that league. So I'm not afraid of that step. I'm prepared to take the time, the years, but I'm just mentally ready for everything.
How many fights do you plan on having amateur before going pro?
We're thinking about, I'm not sure. My coach is right here as well. So what do you think about, Coach? How many more fights until pro?
Well, at least you got 4. Say like 4 to 5 more to get you where you're at, and we're good.
Yeah, 4 to 5 more. So we're in no rush. So we're just trying to collect the best fights so I can be ready.
So you're trying to be like Thanos and start collecting belts now?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Coming in next.
All right.
Now, when you agree to an opponent, is there something that you look for? Do you try to match yourself evenly with experience, or are you just going for all the top guys?
I'm here to fight. I let the matchmakers do all that business. Just give me a good guy, and I'm just hopefully they work hard as me, and I'm just ready to scrap.
So you don't look up any film on them or anything? You see any information you can find out to give you the edge?
Yeah, it's nice to get some film, but at the end of the day, there's levels to it, and I'm very confident, and I've been working my butt off for this, so I just come with the different, I don't know how to say it, but just be ready for the June 25th. Just be ready.
All right, well, I look forward to that, man, because I'll be there. I'll be live. I'll be there live in person. Is there anybody you want to shout out now?
Oh yeah, Adrian Silva. Thank you for freaking whooping my butt. Pro fighter. He's coming up. And Junior, everyone, Cody, Coach Art, my Coach Gil, giving me the right tools and for this fight.
All right, man. Well, we know you're on a time deadline, so we'll go ahead and let you go. Thank you for joining us, Pedro. We appreciate it. You can catch him at the Farmersville at MMA Fight Pass presents Cage Fighting Volume 4. Man, thank you for coming on, and I look forward to seeing your fights. I really look forward to it.
It'll be fireworks, my friend.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Very good.
So he'll be competing next week. Looking forward to that because that is next week. So also no podcast next week.
Yeah.
That we're gonna take the day off. The week, or it'd be the week, but day. But yeah, we're gonna take that off. You're gonna go have fun. I'm gonna go watch some fights. Yeah. So it is what it is. That's right.
That worked out perfectly then, actually.
Right? Yeah, it certainly helped. There were some fights because, of course,
there were some fights. They were great fights.
Quite a few. Let me pop that up for us. Let's see.
And it's so bad my streaming stuff doesn't work anymore. So looks like I got to buy all those pay-per-views. It's crazy. I feel so terrible doing it too every time. It hurts. It really hurts. You know.
I bet.
I love UFC. They deserve money, but I'm just saying.
It's a little steep, you know.
It's steep. Yeah. Anyways, some great fights.
So Glover Teixeira lost within the last 30 seconds. Oh
man, dude, this fight was good. It was a very good fight all the way into that last 30 seconds.
Tell us more.
So God, both of them did so well. Their striking is crazy. Their wrestling is crazy. Those last 30 seconds, if they could have waited 30 seconds, man, I don't know how that fight would have went, but Yuri was working on that choke for a while, and Glover kind of got out, and then he got back in, and you couldn't really see what was really going on or where the arm was placed, or at least from what I remember. But the last 30 seconds, and I didn't even see him tap, but he tapped, and after all that, I was like, no. I kind of wanted to see what the judges were gonna say, but that was a crazy fight, and I think Yuri deserves the belt at this point. I didn't know too much about him before this. Unfortunately, I know he's been around for a while now, but still, he's not someone people talk about all the time anymore. Yeah. Now they will. But I didn't hear anything about him before, so it was really hard to say. I don't know, because Glover is on another level, and this guy's clearly on another level too. So I don't know. I was watching. I think it was the day after, a couple days. Maybe even the week after, maybe it was Monday, the celebration this guy had in his where he's from is, I'm like, wow, that is crazy. That's so much support. Literally the picture looked like thousands of people. So I don't, that's crazy. But I'm interested to see what else this guy can do. Because and I don't know what's going to happen with Glover. I don't know if that's like a rematch type of deal.
Okay, I didn't see the fight, but with you talking about it, was it close enough up until that 30 seconds that
I don't know. I can't say for sure. I'm going to watch it again. But God, they were both so beat up. It was so crazy. I have to watch it again. But that was a main event. That's a main event that was that's what you're supposed to be watching for a main event.
Just an epic war.
So I think this weight class is exciting. Again, not that it wasn't, but Glover Teixeira, that was really great when he got the belt, because finally he got it after all those years.
All that time.
But also it's like, how do you deny this guy when he just went in there and did what he did? It's like, oh, there's so many good fighters. I don't know who's next for either of these two, but we'll see. I don't know, but that fight was really good. I don't know if you can get too many of those kind of fights out of one fighter. I don't know how many.
It takes its toll, but
I know, but man, that was just crazy. Glover's face looked like it was going to fall off. His face looked like it was going to fall off. It was crazy.
It looked like they'd been through a hell of a fight.
Yeah, but that was a fight. That's how you fight for a belt. This whole Rose versus Esparza crap. No.
Or Aljo and everybody.
Yeah, we'll see about that guy. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about him a little bit later in the show.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's move down the card. Valentina Shevchenko versus Talia Santos. That was went to decision, was split. Valentina getting the win.
Yeah, that one. Some people could say that Shevchenko lost that fight.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it was a split, and it's appropriately a split decision. Taylor Santos is really tough. She never stopped. I don't think Valentina's used to that, and she took some heavy hits that normally I think would have knocked more girls out. So it was really kind of crazy. Although Santos took her down a bunch, which I wasn't expecting that, but I know Shevchenko is more of a striker anyway. But she usually seems pretty good in every aspect from all the girls that she's fought before. But this girl particularly had really good wrestling, really good jiu-jitsu. I thought Shevchenko was going to tap at a couple points, but she got out of it. But I don't know. I can't say that one won more than the other. It was very close to me from what it looked like. Although I guess when you're the champ, you really, really have to beat the champ in order to get that belt. And I think that was the situation here. I think that Valentina had the edge to the judges. Maybe they were counting something that, fans wouldn't catch, because that happens too. But I want to know what happens next for this Taylor Santos, because she probably beat most of those girls. So, and I think it says she's number 4.
She's number 4.
Yeah, I think she could beat most of those girls in the rankings anyway. So we'll see what's next. And I want to see what's next for Shevchenko also, because that's interesting. I think she set a record for most title defenses.
Yeah, isn't she pretty much cleared the division?
For the 125s, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's like history right there. At least I think so in the women's division.
It was history. Because I think Rousey was the one that had that record to begin with. She passed Rousey, I think, for the title defenses for female. I think I read something. It's probably just a rumor, but for what's next for Shevchenko, I think she was thinking about fighting
dudes.
Yeah, no. I can't remember if she's going to go up or go down, but I don't think she can go down.
I mean, if you run the division, I mean, what's really your next option? Like, wait for a newcomer and wait for that? No, you want to keep yourself occupied, go up or down.
Go get another belt.
That's it.
I don't know. I would kind of like to watch her fight Nunes again, because that was really close. I think Shevchenko actually won, but we'll see. I don't know. She could potentially go get the 135 belt.
All right, and then we're going to talk about the women's strawweight bout that received performance.
Oh my goodness, this fight! This was a crazy fight. I wasn't expecting this to happen. It's really strange how everything works out, because Rose had knocked out Zhang Weili, and then she lost her belt to Esparza, which is so dumb. But it's funny the way everything works out, because Rose beat out Joanna twice. Joanna's beaten. Or was she? No, she didn't. No, she lost that last fight too against Weili, I guess.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So she lost twice. It's just weird how everything works out. Rose knocks her out. She knocks her out. Esparza's there
it's a
with the
really
champ
weird
who's just going to
circle
get
of life
killed whoever
for
she
that
fights
division.
next. But I think she's fighting Zhang Weili next. I think that'd be a good move for Zhang Weili. I think that'd be an easy fight for her to get that belt and see what happens after that. But Joanna retired after that fight, but got
That
knocked
was
out by
crazy,
a
man.
spinning back fist of all things, flat on her face. So crazy. You know, you rarely see. I actually don't think I remember seeing that in a women's fight, getting a fight finishing in that kind of a sequence. So that was interesting. It's always fun to see those new.
Shoni
finish,
Carter
especially
is
for
sitting
girls.
there just going like, see, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Like, do
I
you know
wasn't.
okay, now do you know who that is, first of all?
Wait, who?
Shoni Carter.
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, he's an old school fighter from back in the day, also representing WEC, old school Lemoore. He hit, I want to say he hit Matt Serra with that in an early UFC and put him down. So he was one of the guys who was like made that popular. So that's all. Just throwing some history towards young people. Got to teach you something.
Yeah, but also what was impressive is Zhang Weili's wrestling. I know she was working with Henry Cejudo, and it shows her takedowns are pretty cool. Yeah, I'm sad to see Joanna go. I've loved her for so long. She was at the top for so long.
Striker, yeah, just great.
She killed everybody mostly, you know. Besides, and then when Rose beat her, that was crazy, and that's when Rose was at her top. And now who knows what's going on with that, but. Yeah, so that's interesting. So we're not gonna see Joanna anymore, which sucks. She was like when she first beat Esparza, I was like, oh man, who is this? Where did she come from? And she never left after that fight, because Esparza had that belt from the Ultimate Fighter that first season they did the strawweight division. It's funny because Joanna was not on that show, and she just came in and kicked the girl's ass, took her belt, and never left. Which was crazy. I'm like, who is this? I thought we were watching, you know, I felt like I was all kept up on, you know, who the new females were in the UFC. And then here comes Joanna. I'd never seen her or heard about her, but that was crazy. I don't know. I think Zhang Weili is going to fight Esparza next, which would be cool. Would like to see her get the belt back and then see what happens from there. Cool.
That should be a good fight. Let's be real. Esparza won't want anything to do with her standing. If she's smart, she won't go to that bread and butter, go to that wrestling.
Oh, but even Zhang Weili would kill her in wrestling too, with what I saw.
That's true. If you said she's improved a lot.
Yes,
but
it's a new fighter is what it looked like. But you could tell she worked on all things wrestling. It seemed like she's very strong too.
All right, so that's going to do it for our recap of last week's fight card. This week, we have Josh Emmett versus Calvin. Is it Cater or Qatar? I always forget.
Calvin Cater.
Cater.
Yeah.
We'll just call him Cater. How about that? Mom call him Calvin. I'm gonna call him Calvin. But the fight I'm excited about is because I like fights like this. Don Cerrone versus Joe Lozon.
Yeah, they were supposed to fight a while back, I think.
Yeah,
and it never happened.
They rescheduled it. Now they're finally going to get down, and I look forward to that.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen with that one?
Oh man, I really don't know.
I don't know. It could go either way.
We both have fun, like crazy fight records.
I think Lozon's going to get it. I don't know why. I just have that feeling.
I feel like he's going to take him to the ground and he's going to wrap him up.
I think so too.
Unless Cerrone comes in and just catches like a glancing blow.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of shape these guys are in. I think Lozon has a very good chance. Cerrone, we've seen so much, and the last few fights are just kind of like, you never know. He could just get knocked out in the first, 5 seconds.
I don't want to sound mean because I don't want it to sound like it's a bad thing. I see Cerrone after his UFC run competing in bare knuckle.
Maybe that would be interesting. I'd watch that.
I feel like he would go there. I think he would draw.
Yeah, I think he could make some more money there for sure. Depending, I don't know what he's making in UFC or if it even.
He's doing all right for himself with having his own spot.
Okay, but he's been doing this for how long? He's been fighting.
That doesn't mean he's making buku bucks.
Well, maybe he has in the past and did good things with it, and now I don't know about now. Like I said, I don't know now if anything would be like enticing to him to go do. Dude, he's acting. He's doing all this other stuff. I don't know if he's going to be fighting anymore. He's acting in big movies, big shows, and doing crazy stuff. So I don't know.
All right, well, that's the fight I'm looking forward to. And then we have Kevin Holland versus Tim Means.
I love Kevin Holland. Tim Means has been around for a while too. I mean, look at that record. That's crazy. But Kevin Holland's very good also. I always kind of root for Kevin Holland. I don't know who's going to win this fight though.
That should be a good bout.
Yeah.
It's sad that we're more excited about
Kevin Holland's in it.
It's sad that we're more excited about these two bouts than the main event.
Well, sometimes they do that. You know, you can't give everyone a main event every time. Like I know Don Cerrone's headlined a bunch. Joe Lozon in his day has, I'm sure. Calvin Kadar and Josh Emmett, I think, are the more relevant ones right now.
Yeah, they're the up and comers that they're ranked. You know, they're gonna hit that upper echelon.
Yeah.
Well, next week, since we don't have a show, well, let's go ahead and talk about Bellator. Bellator has Gegard Mousasi, one of my favorites, competing. He'll be defending his middleweight title against Johnny Eblin. Mousasi all day.
Yeah, I think so too. This guy, unfortunately, is undefeated. I don't think he'll be undefeated after this, though.
Especially when you're fighting a guy that has about 60 fights.
I know. That's so crazy. And Mousasi had been in the UFC for so long, too, before
Very
Bellator.
true. Very true. And then we also have the Bantamweight Grand Prix going. So we have Leandro Higo versus Danny Sabatello. Magomedov. Wow. Ooh, say that 3 times fast. Versus Enrique.
I did it in my head. It sounded weird.
Right. Versus Enrique Barzola. I got to say Magomedov because.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. It looks like it could be an even fight. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's definitely it. We will see. And then Brennan Ward versus Cassius Kane in a welterweight feature. So that's your main card for next week's Bellator card. Let me see if we could jump ahead real quick to another UFC card because, another fight night.
Yeah.
Neil Magny is competing on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Christos, oh my God, I can't even pronounce most of these names. Chris Curtis, I can pronounce that name, and I love the dude's hair.
Well,
Action Man, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Action Man. You better beat Rodolfo Vieira.
Well,
just
these ones are hard to tell because of the records are so.
That's true.
Off put, you know.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's a brief look at the following week's card. But now let's move on to some MMA news because, some stuff has gone on. Like our buddy, your favorite, not mine, Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw.
My hero.
For UFC 279.
Just kidding.
So me and you were discussing this a little bit this week.
Yeah.
And is TJ Dillashaw, I mean, he's come out since he's come back from his
vacation.
Thank you. And I mean, will he be the same fighter? We've seen him compete. He's performed well, but now he's going to be in a title situation. Will he be the same fighter that he has?
I'm trying to remember what he looked like before, because he's come back and fought a few times since he's been back from his vacation.
I hate to say it. I think Sterling's jiu-jitsu is going to do Dillashaw in, because Dillashaw
looked good in most areas on the ground. His last fight, but yeah, the only thing is because we don't exactly know what's going on with TJ Dillashaw or what he really is going to bring. So I would predict that Aljo would win.
Unfortunately.
If he lost, I'd be a little surprised, but I wouldn't mind it.
You'd be super stoked. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. So, and I feel like, honestly, he took this fight because he thinks he could win too. I
Well, I
did.
know. And they
No,
also have it
I,
into the heat so they could sell the fight too.
well, I actually think that's exactly what he did because I caught a Joe Rogan episode with him on it, and I didn't know if I wanted to listen to it because I was a little irritated with him still. But I'm like, you know what? Let me listen to see what he has to say. I could change my mind because a lot of times that happens when you listen to their side of things. And listening to a story, you know, I was like super irritated when he, you know, took the belt essentially and then went and took all these pictures and had parties and stuff like that. Well, he was
my belt, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked like that, and he even had kind of addressed that, like, hey, I had so many people fly in from everywhere to watch that fight, and for him when he got kneed, he was, you know, knocked out, which I don't you know, I don't think he's lying about that. I think getting kneed on the ground, you can very easily be knocked out. It's just, I don't know, you couldn't tell because he got back up and took pictures and all this other crap. So I was like, I think this guy's playing it a little bit. But his side was that he was knocked out for a good, you know, he was hazing in and out. He didn't know, you know, and after the fight, there was all these people waiting for him because they had planned on celebrating, you know, and then when he actually got the belt, even though he didn't win it, they were still excited and they tried to party, and he was kind of like, his side said that he felt bad that they were there, so he kind of had to stick around and visit and do all that kind of thing. And like, yeah, okay, maybe it's true, I don't know, but his side made a little bit more sense if that's what happened. I don't know.
We weren't there.
I'm still irritated.
And you're going to be for a long time because of that.
But also, Joe had asked him, who are you trying to fight next or whatever? Are you trying to fight the next top guy or what? And he kind of, I can't remember the exact words, but he was kind of getting to like, well, honestly, he's like, don't you want to fight the people you know you could win type of thing? And Joe is like, oh, that's so honest to say. And he's like, I can't lie, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so that's exactly what's going on. He's accepted the fight with TJ Dillashaw because I think he knows he can beat him. However, probably on the ground, I'm assuming. So I think that's exactly what's going on. He actually even said it for the whole world. So it's kind of just prolonging what we can actually see from him. You know, he's going to take all these fights that he think he could win, of course, so he can keep that belt longer. But you're not really going to see him with the next top guy getting tested everywhere, you know, to see if he can hang on to that belt. Is he really supposed to have that belt? So unfortunately, it's going to be even longer because he's going to accept all these fights from people who he thinks he can already win. TJ Dillashaw being one of them. I think it's a good fight for TJ, though, for him, of course. See what he can do. I think that's a good test for him. Yeah, so
especially making his way back from what happened.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm curious about that fight. I'm a little excited, so we'll see about that.
All right. Now I want to know what this is, strictly opinion right now. Are you ready? UFC Sean O'Malley. I want to get to the point where I'm making $1 million a fight.
Okay,
do you think that would happen?
Who's doing that right now in UFC? Is anyone? Besides maybe Usman? Maybe
Stylebender. Maybe.
I think it depends where they hold it. I think if they hold it in Vegas, I don't think you'd get that. Maybe because Adesanya is from New Zealand, right? So so when they do a big show in Australia, that whole arena is filled up, and that is a big place, and you can make a lot of money depending on how big the venue is that you're going to be at. So
and how much you're contracted to make off that.
Yeah, well, someone like Adesanya has, makes big money. So yeah, you're right about him. Yeah, I mean that's great.
I don't see Post Malone's little cousin making that much per fight. I don't care how exciting he gets, unless he gets a belt and gets some fight some high level talent.
He has fought hard. He's fought in appropriate opponents, I think, up until this point. So
yeah, but I'm saying big name.
Well, he's gonna have to, and I think it kind of looks like, I don't know. It doesn't even really say if he's ready or not. He's just saying how he wants money. I think everyone wants money.
Why? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I say it all the time. People just look at me like, yeah, we know that. And
Yeah. Well, keep doing what he's doing, maybe, you know?
True. Very true. Yeah, we'll see about that. Jury's still out on Sean O'Malley. Now, here's a story that's near and dear to my heart, just because we all know who one of my favorite female fighters is. Ronda Rousey says Gina Carano, only MMA fight she'd come back for. It's a respect thing.
I'm surprised she said that. I don't even know Gina Carano crossed her mind these days.
Which is funny because Gina Carano, like, for a lot of people who probably don't know their MMA history and think Ronda Rousey was the real innovator.
No.
They brought Ronda Rousey to the UFC, but y'all forget Gina Carano is what brought MMA to the masses, female MMA to the masses.
Yeah.
I love Gina. She's so fun. So, I say that a lot.
She's doing movies, though,
also. I'm super okay with that, and I've seen quite a few of them.
And so did Rousey. They both did that. I don't know. Of course, I think everyone would love to see that fight, but
that would be an interesting.
Will it happen? I don't know. Didn't Rousey just have a baby? She's pregnant. She's been
pregnant. I don't know. I don't think she's pregnant again. I think she's still in wrestling. I don't know. I don't keep track of her.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. Did she have a baby a long time ago?
With Travis Brown.
Well, anyway, still, it's different when you've already had a kid. You don't know. But yeah, she is still very active. So that maybe makes sense.
And Gina Carano she's been so far out of MMA. I think she still trains to keep in shape. But
she has to.
Out of it.
Yeah. I don't know. That'd be cool. We've never heard that come out of Ronda Rousey's mouth before.
I think that's interesting.
So I think it means something.
But yet, I feel like that time has already passed. That's a freak
maybe that's why
fight.
She's saying it, because she knows it's not gonna happen.
Could, but I just want to say, Gina, I love you. And sorry. Okay. All right, back to serious business. Ronda Rousey, I think would beat her up.
I believe
honestly, the judo experience, because Gina had pretty good striking. Never really saw her on the ground, but she could lay hands. And Ronda, well, we know she's susceptible to a knockout and a kick, but I think she would just judo throw, armbar.
Yeah.
She'd go back to the old school game plan.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool that she said that, although I think she could have said that because she thinks it's not going to happen anyway. But it's cool to hear her say that she would come back, you know?
It'd be dope to see Chris Cyborg fight Ronda Rousey.
I'm not into that fight. I'm not into any more Cyborg fights.
I am, because I'm into the destruction of Ronda Rousey.
That fight, that would be an interesting fight. I don't know. I think Cyborg did her thing, and that's what it is now. She's still fighting, but as far as like when those top days in the UFC,
she's still one of the top fighters like of all time
in the world. Yeah,
yeah.
Even whether that's not even counting if she's a female or not, just in general. You know? So it's interesting to see that Amanda Nunes knocked her out. After that, I was like, oh, okay. So she's not invincible, obviously. We've never seen her get knocked out before. So she is human.
Very true. Very true. Now, it's funny that you mentioned Amanda Nunes, because the next article I pulled up, Dana White had some interesting things to say about her.
Oh.
That stupid ads. But Amanda Nunes is not that hungry savage she was when she started her world title run.
Well, she's comfortable. She's got other things going on. She has her life going on now. She's gonna fight because she's coaching the Ultimate Fighter. She's gonna fight Juliana Pena again.
But is that going to affect her?
She could totally win that belt back. She could. If she wants to, she could. She definitely could. And I hope that she does.
Do you think she will? Not. She could. We know she could.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that she could. I think that it's a good possibility that she will get it back. I think Juliana Pena is on another level too, so she might just, keep it for a while too. So I don't know. I hope she's motivated to come back and fight like she did, but we don't even really know what really happened that first fight with Juliana Pena. Like, what happened? Like, was she not wanting to fight that night? I don't know. People say she didn't, but people don't know anything, So I don't know. I think maybe she got too comfortable thinking she's just always going to have the belt, and then had a lazy night and got taken from her. Or maybe she got hit and couldn't really follow up the rest of her fight. I don't know. You never know what's going on. Like, you can get clipped and it looks fine, but really you're rocked.
You're really messed up.
You're exhausted because your brain doesn't know what's going on. And that could have happened. She tapped really fast. People say she gave up, but I think she knew where that was going, and maybe it was in really deep. I don't know. So I don't know. Juliana Pena has a very good chance of keeping that belt, though. But Amanda Nunes, I think this is like her chance to really come back and prove.
Yeah, if she's going to make a comeback, this fight is that opportunity to really show.
Like, now's the time would be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yep.
Now let's move on to one of our secondary favorites, bare knuckle fighting. We didn't talk about it last week because we had a very special guest on the show that I'm still.
We did. That was a cool interview.
But Michael Venom Page is going to be competing in bare knuckle fighting. He's going to be fighting.
That's so interesting.
That it's interesting that basically he was allowed the opportunity to go in there and compete. That Scott Coker was like, "Hey, man, you can do it." There's Dana White, like, you got to be super famous.
No, but Scott Coker is a cool guy. He does stuff like that. He is the one, I think, that reached out to say that he wanted to do a cross promotion with Dana. Of course, Dana wouldn't do that. But I think he was the first one to say, like, I would do it, because he's smart. Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, maybe UFC wouldn't, because they think since they're already kind of the top dog, they have the say and they can do whatever they want. Probably won't affect their pocketbook very much, but Bellator is willing to give them more exciting fights. Cross promotion fights. So
very true. Very true. I look forward to it. I'm a fan of Venom. So
yeah, I'm very interested too.
Especially somebody who's not at the tail end of their MMA career. This is somebody that is in the middle of it. And usually, unfortunately, we get fighters that are at the tail end of their careers. So I want to see how this fight goes.
Reading that article, I'm like, oh, I didn't know he retired. We're used to seeing these retired fighters go to bare knuckle. And finding out
for
that
him to basically be allowed to go do it, to compete, to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, but that's cool. Maybe Bellator makes some money off of that. I don't know, but
maybe.
That's just like his own thing. He's letting him go do his own thing. Bellator's not involved of any contract or money or anything like that. If I was Scott Coker, I would try to arrange something to where he did get a little bit of something, because it is currently his contracted fighter. But
and it does
I don't know contracts.
Mm-hmm. Like, look, we had our guy go over here and he beat their guy.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so exciting, though. Did it say what date that fight is?
Let me go back to it.
Oh, he probably doesn't even. Does he have an opponent? He probably doesn't have an opponent.
Oh, he's fighting. No, he has an opponent.
Oh,
he's going to be fighting Mike Perry.
Oh, that's right.
And the card is set for August 20th in London. So they'll be fighting in
that's Mike right. That makes more sense. That makes more sense to let him fight. It is in London. That's a
big deal. That's a big deal for bare knuckle too.
I wonder if that's why they're going there.
Could be.
I think they're doing that. Yeah, I think that makes more sense, actually.
Because of that, I feel like it could be a super card.
It should be. I hope so. That would be so interesting. And then Mike Perry, I didn't see his last bare knuckle fight, but I'm interested to see. Man, that poor guy. I feel bad.
Last fight he fought. Let me find it. If my stuff would refresh. I want to say he beat Julian Lane, a guy from The Ultimate Fighter. The one who was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unanimous decision over Julian Lane. The guy was like, just let me bang, bro.
Yeah. Big baby.
That
dude, I was concerned about that dude a long time ago.
So was every psychologist that watched The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, something's going on there. And
then we have another bare knuckle fighting story, of course, because we are fans of it. Former NFL standout, ex-UFC heavyweight Greg Hardy has signed with bare knuckle fighting.
This is interesting. They're getting a lot more of these guys.
Yeah, I'm curious because I don't feel like we've ever seen any real heavyweights in bare knuckle. We have in other promotions, but not specifically in BKFC. So I am very interested to see who they match him up with, because I know a dude in Madeira that's fought bare knuckle, and there'll be fireworks between these two.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm referring
to.
Well,
I think Chad Mendes does BKFC now also. A lot of UFC guys are going there, and it's funny because they're gonna end up fighting each other.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Interesting how that happens. Like, you leave one organization, but then it turns out those guys are going to be there too.
So, hey, funny seeing you here.
Yeah.
But
that's cool. Those are better fights to watch than what they've been.
The roster. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. It makes that promotion more interesting to watch now, because there's fighters that I do want to see fight. Way more excited. I think better than the ones they have been putting out. Their undercards are hilarious.
I agree.
It does get better as the show goes on. Like, towards the main event, they get way more technical. But when you first, like, I feel like we're just watching a bunch of bar fights, the first few fights of the card. So it's kind of funny.
You're like, this fight should have actually taken place over here in the audience, not in there.
Yeah, they're going to start picking up chairs.
I look forward to that.
You would.
A pro wrestling fan in me is like, yeah, more violence. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's all we got for this week. And that's going to do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Thank you for joining us. And we will talk to you guys next time.